have my travel supplies and I'm just waiting for the train. 10 minutes. Perfect. Beautiful day. Sunshine. The Castlemaine train station, heading to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. I'll give you a tour once I'm there, and I'm going to go and look for people to learn from and maybe some joint venture opportunities. I like to keep a finger on the pulse of what's going on in New Age land. Not my preferred place to hang out. If you watch any of my vlogs, you'll know that already, but always interesting things, people running their businesses in different formats. So watch this space, let's see what we can find. So here I am, you can see, just about to embark on, propel myself out into the field of purchasing opportunities, the chitta-vritti of New Age spiritual materialism. Here we go. So I just met a very cool couple, Kylie and Troy, who, this is their business. Look them up, follow them, here's all their things. They make seriously cool yoga leggings in Australia, like actually here. And they have very cool patterns, and I'm hoping that I can interview them on the Abundant Yoga Teacher podcast. Cool people. Meanwhile, I'm actually right now sitting at the gratitude space in a giant amethyst on a fluffy, cushiony thing. I needed to take a pause. Anyone else a highly sensitive person? This is fucking intense. There's only so much nug chumper a girl can breathe without having to take a rest. So just spent, I don't know, the past 25 minutes being talked at by a very enthusiastic person from an environmental not-for-profit, and I've got to say, I'm feeling like shaky and distressed. I was never going to become a member. That was obviously the purpose of the conversation, but then I thought we were talking about campaigns, and that was interesting, and then it just turned into this full-out conversation about the nature of reality and how, because I didn't want to become a member, I was taking the easy way out, and kind of this strange kind of passive-aggressive, sanctimonious character assassination. It was the strangest thing. He was doing such a good job of sales, and then it just went weird. So I'm walking around and thinking, man, I feel weird. I feel strange. I don't feel good. I feel like I've got some bad energy. And then I realized I'm at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. I can go and get my aura cleaned, or whatever you do to auras. Is that a thing? I don't know. But maybe I'll just have a coffee. Maybe that's how I clean my aura. Get back into it. Stay tuned. Okay, I've done one. I think I'm like 75% done, and I've recovered from my confrontation with Save the Trees Xiansheng. And I've just met some amazing business women doing some really, really cool stuff here. So there's a fair amount of trashy, weedy, but some really cool, women entrepreneurs making some very, very amazing stuff. So I'm going to show you a little bit of that now. So this is Angela, and she's going to show us her amazing products, which I just want to buy all of them, but I probably couldn't take them home on the train. Tell us about them, actually.
Okay, so I work with artisans in India who hand carve wooden blocks to create the patterns that are found on these bolsters.
I like that one.
Yeah, and so I'll talk to this one in particular. Okay. So with this one, they carved a wooden block for the first part of the pattern, which was to create the veins of this leaf.
Yeah.
And so they've hand block printed it, which you can see here.
This guy's doing it here.
That's Vijendra, who we work closely with in India.
Whereabouts in India?
Just outside of Jaipur. So it's probably about an hour and a half outside of Jaipur. And then after they've done this part, they created Dabu mud resist dye. So they use different elements of the earth to create this mud paste. And then they put another block over that leaf part, which then creates like a tier mud shape. And then that goes out to lay in the drying fields to dry on the ground, on the earth. And then once that's dried, then they come back to the indigo dye well, which has been prepared after numerous months, and then dip it into the indigo dye well. So the mud resists the dye.
Okay.
And so after
like other sort of like you use wax in other traditions.
Yeah, potentially.
So I've made it through all of the rows, I've looked at all of the stalls. I said no to a lot of free samples of things that I don't quite understand what they are. Definitely saw some things of dubious merit, but who am I to judge? How do I know that that woman isn't actually channeling your past lives in the pastel she's doing for you for $100? That's a good hourly rate. She was making like 5 pictures an hour. That lady was working it. Yeah. Entrepreneurialism. It's such an interesting connection between spirituality and wellness and commerce, and unregulated wellness products. You know, just the supplements and the miracle cures, and so interesting. And yeah, there was lots of MLMs there. There was a couple of gurus there. There was you know, amulets for enlightenment, pills for the, you know, that contain the Amrit. Super interesting. Some really intense sales techniques and sales strategies. I talked to a lot of people. Yeah, just learning a lot about how people in that type of environment, if you've ever had a vendor table, if you do that sort of marketing efforts in your own business, if you've ever had a vendor table, you know, the stakes are kind of high. You've paid a fair bit of money. Some of the fit outs and some of the stalls that I looked at were just beautiful, and so you want to make the best bang for your buck, and yet there's something kind of intrinsically at odds with the, you know, I'm going to talk to you about my rosewater bath salts, which is a calming product, but I'm going to hustle the shit out of you because I need to get my money back on how much, God knows, it costs to have a stall here. There was a few stalls that were empty too, which I found super interesting. So I'll do some more reflections on what I actually learned and what my highlights were, but just for now, I thought what would be interesting to note is that going to these sorts of things, I think I bought a piece of soap. Like I went to meet people, I went to look and see what I could learn from what other people are doing, and putting ourselves into these sorts of semi-foreign environments is really great to just check in, you know, what branding there was some branding that I really loved. There was some really old cheesy stuff like the cartoon chicken, you know, Padmasana with the ponytail. There was one woman who had some sort of beauty products, and she had a whole bathtub set up. It was magnesium bath salts, whatnot. She had a whole bathtub set up for people to do photos in it, you know, like not a real bathtub, a wooden hot tub that you could get in and have a selfie for social media. So some really cool stuff about how to really rock a vendor table. So it was great to be there. I'm glad I've done it. I think I managed 90 minutes, which I think I was here 2 years ago with my sister, and we did it in an hour, and then the two of us needed to just go and detox the hell out of it because it's intense. If you're a highly sensitive person, yeah, I need to go take a shower. But I'm glad I went. Lots of interesting things to learn and see what other people are doing. And now I'm ready to go back to my home in the country. Once I've had a moment to detoxify myself from all of that like commerce chitta-vritti, I'll come back with some more thoughtful, considered points. I made it. I think it's 3 hour, maybe 3.5 hour round trip on the train and drive back to my house. I made it. Yes. So overall, reflections on, for me, what is quite an intense day. I love going to Melbourne, it's not that, but those convention spaces and so much noise and so much, just the energy. It's different to anything else. It's not just the intensity of crowds either. It's different. It's got I don't know, there's something uncomfortable about it. And on the train ride home, I was thinking about, well, what is it that I find unsettling? What are the insights overall from spending, what was it? Bloody hell. I was probably in the venue for, 90 minutes. There's a couple of things. The first one is, whether you like it or not, in mainstream society, there has been an incredible commingling of what is yoga and what is the New Age movement. And I just don't see how those two are going to be pulled apart, for better or worse. Some people probably wouldn't even consider that there is something different between them. For other people, they're profoundly different things. But things like just the branding even of the festival itself, lots of mandala type images, lots of pictures of silhouettes of thin women doing yoga, advanced yoga asana, as sort of the icons of the festival itself, and such that yoga is lumped in there with things like iridology and aura photography and past life regression and these sorts of things, which are, I'm not making a comment here, believe it or not, about the validity of any of those modalities, other than to suggest that they're different. I wish I could show you. There is a little blue-faced wren loving on itself in the rear view mirror right here. He just can't get enough of himself. Good for you, buddy. So they seem to be incredibly commingled in modern society, for better or worse. That's a thing. Next up, therefore, the inference that yoga is in fact somehow good for you. Depending on who you ask, I don't know. Yoga asana, I mean, is that true? I don't know. I really don't. Yeah. I just recently watched the Bikram doco on Netflix. Very similar content to the podcast about Bikram, and the stuff about practice and all is coming. I don't know. Depends on how you practice it, but not in and of itself. I don't think you can say carte blanche yoga is good for your body. I don't think so. I personally, I think it's fucking awesome, but it's much more nuanced than if you sit down and make jnana mudra and put your hands on your knees. You're going to become enlightened, and it's good for you. So that. And then the final thing that I really, and I think this speaks to why I feel so unsettled in that environment, is I really do think that poverty consciousness is rife in the yoga industry, but it seems now even more broadly in the New Age space. There was, this kind of grasping for freebies and drinking all of the little different things that you could get, all the teas, have a sample of everything, and all the shampoo samples, and there was lots of buy 2 books get 1 free, lots of deals, lots of best price at the festival kind of marketing, really pitched at that scarcity mentality, and I don't like that. If you consume any of my content, you know that I'm about abundance. There was some incredibly beautiful stalls there, and people, I had great conversations with people about their products and what they're doing and why they're doing it. It wasn't all like that, but there definitely was a through line of sort of skeezy, make a deal, how much can I make you buy? Which I just, I'm so excited that in this community we've decided to transcend that and to sell, because sales can be awesome. Sales is a way of sharing energy, exchanging energy with people, can be really high vibe and beautiful and enabling. It doesn't have to be skeezy, and I'm so proud of my clients and the people in my programs who have embraced selling and go and do vendor tables, and as a way of having conversations. The people that I only bought one thing the whole day, but if I had have been in a like buying mode or had driven my car there or whatever, the people that I would have purchased things from, sure, it was the items that they were selling that appealed to me, but moreover, it was that I felt like we had a conversation, and and that there was a genuine human interaction. And that's what I think is so powerful when we're looking to welcome new people into our offerings, our retreats, our classes. Yes, it's sales, but it doesn't and never should be, I don't believe, from that place of lack or missing out or fear that they're never going to come back, or that this is the last person on earth and you've got to convert them, or you're going to leave them with the energy that you somehow think they're a bad person. So I feel, I guess, overall, I'm really glad that I went. I made some great contacts. Look out, there's going to be some fantastic people interviewed on the Abundant Yoga Teacher podcast, particularly into season 5, which will launch for 2020. Good stuff. I got some ideas for one of my projects that I'm working on outside of this particular business, and I just really feel even more grateful for everybody in my community who is going out there doing these sorts of stalls, doing the farmers market, doing the Christmas fair or the Thanksgiving fair or whatever it is that you might be involved in at the moment, and really not going there. I mean, indirectly you're going there to sell, sure, but first and foremost, just going there to talk to people and have human interactions and be friendly and learn from the people that you're chatting with, and to celebrate and enjoy that regardless of if those people ever buy anything from you. I really believe that that's where high energy, positive, mutually enjoyable sales get to be made. Thanks, Mind, Body, Spirit Festival. Woo! I think I'm averaging one every 2 years, and that is about enough. Have a lovely weekend, everybody.